Hi, so welcome to video 4 of a series of videos that I am titling The Intersection of Taiko and Western Drumming. And what this series has been about, at least the first 4 videos, actually there's 1.5, so 5 videos so far, is about Western drum rudiments and picking a couple of them out that seem to be useful when playing Taiko, and then trying to figure out how to apply them in your playing. So here's video 4, and video 4 has one flam rudiment and one diddle rudiment. Right, diddle is a double beat. Flam is hitting both hands together. Right. So the flam rudiment that we're going to look at is the flam mill, which is numbered number 25 on the rudiment chart. Remember, they're all numbered and the numbers are consistent. So number 25 is the flam mill. And then the other one we're going to look at is called lesson 25, if that's not confusing. So lesson 25 is rudiment number 34, not number 25, right? I know it's weird, but got the name because there was an old snare drumming book from way back in the late 1800s that had this rudiment in, and in that lesson it was 25. So therefore the name, lesson 25. Okay, so flam mill is a 4-count beat. Flam 2, 3, 4, flam 2, 3, 4. But the interesting thing about the flam mill is that because of the flam and how you stick it, the sticking actually alternates from the right to the left. And we'll go through that in a moment. And then lesson 25, you can think about this for Taiko playing. It's really take a 10 with an accent on the last beat, the 10, take a 10, take a 10, take a 10, with a diddle before it. So it'd be diddle, take a 10, diddle, take a 10. So you just add a diddle to it and you get lesson 25. Okay, so let's go through these. First, the flam mill. So we did the Swiss Army triplet in a previous video. And the Swiss Army triplet, of course, is a 3-count, right? But because of the way you stick the Swiss Army triplet, the sticking stays on the same hand, right? Triplet, 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 flam 2, 3, flam 2, 3, flam 2, 3, flam 2, 3, right? If you add one more beat to that, you get the flam mill. Flam 2, 3, 4, flam 2, 3, 4, flam 2, 3, 4, flam 2, 3, 4. Easiest way to think about the flam mill is Swiss Army triplet with one more beat. And because adding that one beat puts you on the other hand, right, alternates the sticking. Right? So I think that's kind of fun because the triplet, which you would think, right, would alternate, but the Swiss Army triplet does not. The 4-count, which you would think would stay on the same hand, does alternate because of the flam. Okay? So that's the flam mill. Lesson 25, take a 10 with a diddle. So think about it, there's a right-handed sticking and there's a left-handed sticking. So if I'm doing take a 10 on the right hand, the diddle is with the left. Right? Diddle take a 10, diddle take a 10, diddle take a 10. If I stick it on the left hand, it's diddle take a 10, diddle take a 10. Right? So that's lesson 25. Why do I think these are useful for Taiko? Well, as always with the diddle rudiments, I think they are applicable to the kane, right? So lesson 25, you could obviously use it while you're playing kane. I also think that the diddle rudiments, and I think in particular lesson 25, is useful when you're playing Katsugi Okedo. So, you know, the sticking for this, the grip for Katsugi Okedo. And I'm going to just pretend this is the top head of an Okedo that I have around my neck, on my shoulder. That all the diddle rudiments playing Okedo, and also, of course, if you put one hand on one side of the Okedo and the other hand on another side, if they're pitched, different high-low pitch combination on the Okedo with the tuning, you get a pitch differential between one hand and the other. So all the diddle rudiments, I think, are really handy for Okedo playing, because that's sort of in line with field snare drumming. And remember, all the rudiments were designed for field snare drumming, right? Field snare drumming, traditional grip, you have the snare drum around your neck down like an Okedo. So all the rudiments really work well for Katsugi playing. The flams, I think, are, because the flam allows you to hit two things at the same time, I think they're useful for kit playing. You get two sounds with the flam, right? Remember, you're hitting two things at the same time. Right? So because of the nature of the flam, it allows you to get the benefit of having different sounds being played simultaneously. Right? So the flam mill. One hand around. Right? Right. I think the other thing you can play around with is mixing up the Swiss Army triplet. From the Swiss Army triplet to the flam mill, 3 count stays on one hand. As soon as you put the flam mill in, you go to the other hand. So then you're alternating your pitches simply by putting the flam mill in. So that's a fun thing to play around with. So there you go. There's 2 more rudiments. Play around with them. If you have a kit of Taiko, try putting one hand on one Taiko and doing the flam patterns. If you have a shime, you could tip it. You could practice playing Katsugi style with your grip. You might want to tip the head of the shime a little bit so that you're sort of making the angle of the Katsugi head as if you were having the Okedo around your neck. So you get used to that grip and you get used to diddling with that grip, right? There you go.